Wolf of Fantasy Sports back with the Dfs Wolfpack. NFL Week 2. What a ride. What a ride it was. Biggest mistake I made on the whole week was taking out Diggs and the Rams defense for Antonio Brown and the Texans defense. I drank the Kool-Aid. Damn. Tennessee, it was just too tempting. Offensive linemen were missing from the Titans. Clowney got ruled out, so I was a little hesitant. I was like, man, I'm going to fade Texans, and I'm going to regret it. I'm going to look back on it, and I don't want that to happen. So I played them anyways. Played a little bit of the Jets, played the Rams, played the Chargers. Those were my 4 defenses of the week. If you did check out the DFS Wolfpack blog, that's posted at dfswolfpack.com. Any player I have in bold, that's a player I'm probably going to have in a majority of my lineups. So that's somebody I'm high on. That's a defensive player that I'm high on, and I'm going to have exposure to. More exposure than the other players. The players that are not bold, they're in my player pool. I might have them in a lineup somewhere, right? So, and if you want access to me directly for the month, I'm providing coaching. Any new player, anyone new to DFS, anybody that wants to get better, anybody that wants the GPP mindset to how to take down tournaments, or some advice to give you the guidance to get you there. If you're trying to take your game to the next level, I've been doing this for 3 years. I'm from New York. All I do is DFS, work, take care of my family, all of that. And this is something I do every day. I don't miss a beat. When it comes to NFL, NBA, MLB, MMA, PGA, I don't miss a beat. Those are my sports, and I got it covered over here. And I got connections with some people that if I don't know answers, they got answers. So I'm the guy you need. Hit me up. I'm the plug to DFS. Get a hold of me directly at DFS Wolfpack on Instagram or Twitter. DM, hit me up. And my prices done went up a little bit. I was $25 a month for 10 subscribers, and now I'm gonna up it to 50 because I feel I'm giving out information that I'll get you caught up to speed. If you're brand new in the DFS, I'll get you caught up to speed within 30 days without a doubt. And then wherever you take it's where you take it. And it's a one-time thing too. I may do 2 months per subscriber, but that's it. 2 months. I'm not giving out all my gems, okay, all my jewels all at once. Not to everybody, not happening. So back to like a recap of week 2. I did really good. I put in a couple hundred on DraftKings, a couple hundred on about 100, a little over 100 on FanDuel, about 100 on Yahoo. Altogether, I'm up like 1,500 on week 2. Like I said, made a huge mistake getting off the Rams defense. And when I did, I was able to get Antonio Brown. Come to find out, he may be a little bit hobbled up. Like he might have a hamstring problem. Something's bothering him. He didn't really look right on the field. I saw the game highlights today, looking at the recap, and it was just a player you did not want to fade. Antonio Brown, huge upside. I did have Juju everywhere. I took Juju and Antonio Brown, thinking it was going to be a high shootout. Ran it back with Mahomes. Had exposure to Roethlisberger and all that. Like I had full exposure to that game. Connor, the works, Tyreek Hill, Ty Freak. So, I was on the ball with where the points were going to be scored. That was the highest total of the week. So it's definitely a game you wanted a piece of. What's up?
Will we get this one?
We could look for it. Yeah, we could look for it.
It's a make piece of it.
Yeah. So, yeah, my recap on the week. If I would have left Diggs and the Rams defense in at least half my lineups, I'm looking at like 15 to 20 grand in profit. So I made a huge mistake paying down for the Texans defense and then paying up for Antonio Brown. Now in some of my lineups, I left in Higgins because when I found out Callaway was getting the start, I was doing a lot before a lineup lock. I was going to get food. I came back at 8. and I did not get Higgins out of all the lineups. I left him in a couple, and the couple that I left him in, just the difference from Higgins to Callaway was about 8 points, 9 points roughly, right? That right there cost me a couple $100 in profit. Just leaving Higgins in lineups over Callaway because Callaway got the long touchdown from Tyrod. And then the defense, if I would have just left in the Jets defense over the Titans, that's another 7 points. That right there would have won me a qualifier to the live final with the $2 million top prize. So I dropped the ball. I turned a profit, a hell of a profit this week, but I dropped the ball as far as a big payday, like one for the record books. Like I've hit 5 figures before, and I've hit in the thousands a couple nights here and there, but never, won a live final ticket. That's a trip to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The contest is like out of 185 contestants. First place gets 2 million, second place gets 1 million. Like, come on. I dropped the ball. I should have been a little bit sharper this week, and I'll learn from it, move on, and it's week 3. So if you're looking for daily content providers, check out the Dfs Wolfpack.com. Matt and Ryan will hook you up 3 days in a row, or what was it? 350K winners within like 6 days. Like they're on a heater for baseball. MLB's winding down. Still check them out while the season's in play. Hit them up. They'll take care of you over there. And if you're looking for coaching, if you're looking to get better at DFS, you can hit me up. I'll guide you 24-hour access to me if you want to go that route and pay for coaching. Somebody to guide you, help you along the way. So, looking at NFL Week 3, DraftKings player pricing. We're going to start with the quarterback position. I'm looking at Rodgers on the road versus Washington. He's got the upside to put up a big game. Hasn't really hit a ceiling yet this year. Got injured, came back, played a hell of a second half. He looked all right last week. And for the most part, I'm not going to pay $7,100 for Rodgers. He had a brace on his knee. I'm thinking I'd much rather have Pat Mahomes, rolling with my homie. I've been riding him since week 1. No reason to stop now. It's going to be his first home game. He's setting all types of records, killing it, crushing, 7,000. The price doesn't scare me. I'm hoping it puts some people off that they don't want to pay up for that. But Pat Mahomes got all the weapons at home. San Francisco, great matchup. I'm definitely going to be rolling with my homie in this one. He's going to be one of the top quarterbacks that I have exposure to this week. Definitely lock him in your lineups. If you check back on my website, dfswolfpack.com, you could see him in bold for each week. Week 1, week 2, I was on him. And definitely one of my favorite players to watch. And I will have a Mahomes jersey. Like, this guy netted me over $3K in 2 weeks. So, rolling with my homie. Cousins, I like him versus Buffalo. The thing is with Buffalo, they're going to get dominated defensively in this matchup. They're on the road. They already look like one of the worst offensive lines next to the New York Giants. So if you look at it, you got Cousins could put up a big score, and it might not be pushed to the Buffalo's not going to match him to push the pace. Like last week, they were playing from behind with Green Bay. So Buffalo's not going to push the pace. They're not going to match him and with score. So you got to look at it like this. Do you want to pay that much for Cousins? Does he have the upside to be forced to put up points, score touchdowns? If not, you want to fade a player like that. Even though he's in a really good matchup, he could hit value at halftime and then sit the second half. It could be a snooze fest in the second half. So I like what I saw from Buffalo last week as far as McDermott, the coach. He's a defensive-minded coach. He's now a head coach. And he took over the defense, play calling in the second half. So, maybe they play a little bit better defense, but you got Diggs, you got Thielen, you got Rudolph, you got too many weapons. Cook, you got Latavius Murray, and then Cousins. So, I like Cousins. I'll have exposure to him, but I'm not going all in. I'm not putting a lot of money behind it. Just because I don't think Buffalo pushes the pace, forces them to throw the ball, forces them to throw touchdowns. Seems like they're going to run, just get a lead, run out the clock, game over. Looking at Garoppolo versus KC. KC's defense, they might be without Barry again. Barry's coming back shortly. Probably not this week, but within the next 3 from the reports that I read today. Looking at Garoppolo, he should be able to do damage in the air. Could be a little bit of a shootout, but I see KC winning this game. And hopefully it is a shootout from my Mahomes lineup. So looking at Drew Brees is a good game. Check the Vegas lines for this. This should be a fairly good high total. Looking at Brees on the road versus Atlanta. This is a hell of a matchup right here. So I like Brees. I think he's in play. I'll have some exposure to him, not a lot. We'll talk about the player that I really like from New Orleans. I'm sure you heard of him. Looking at Wentz. Wentz is making his season debut. He's back from injury. They said he got, from all reports, Wentz is a full go for this game versus Indianapolis. At home, Philly. Wentz is definitely in play here at 6,200. He's 800 cheaper than Mahomes. Has the upside to put up a big game, multiple touchdown game. Indianapolis, Luck versus Wentz. Gonna be a great matchup. I'll have exposure to Wentz, most definitely. Looking at Watson, 6,100. I'm gonna have exposure to him too. This could be his breakout game of the year versus the Giants at home. I could see this game going back and forth a little bit. So I like Watson. So out of all the players from 7,100 to 6,100, I'm looking at Watson, Wentz, Mahomes. Those are the three I want. Now looking at Cam Newton versus Cincinnati, he's in play. Don't love him though, but he's definitely got upside to win a slate. Looking at Russell Wilson, I'm completely off him. He doesn't have the weapons. His offensive line isn't great. Defense is okay. Dallas, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be a slow-paced game. I don't want no part of Wilson, but you got to consider him because he's one of the better quarterbacks. He just doesn't have the weapons. That's the only problem. And he doesn't have the defense to get him the ball. So looking at Jared Goff, definitely in play at 59 versus the Chargers. Don't mind that. Looking at Alex Smith versus Green Bay, I'm off of him. I don't see the upside on the slate to take Alex Smith. Looking at Phillip Rivers. So we got 5,800 for Rivers. One of the best defenses on paper. I'm not messing with Rivers this week. Matt Ryan at home versus New Orleans. I like this play, 5,700. He's probably as low as I go on quarterback as far as all the quarterbacks go. This is as far as I'm going to drop is Matt Ryan at home. Hopefully he can do what he did last week. He rushed in 2 touchdowns, so I don't see that happening again. Definitely in play, though. If they can capitalize in the red zone, he could hit value, hit 20 plus. Looking at Dalton versus Carolina, I'm off him. Luck versus Philly, that's interesting. 5,600, great price. I think he's in play, someone to consider. Jacksonville versus Tennessee, Bortles put up a hell of a stat line versus New England. So Bortles is definitely in play, 5,600 here, somebody to consider. Wentz is playing, I'm off Foles. Trubisky versus Arizona, don't like that. Derek Carr versus Miami, someone to consider, but I won't be on him. Flacco versus Denver, I'm off that. Keenan versus Baltimore, I'm off that. Tannehill, no parts. Looking at Prescott versus Seattle, he could be somebody to consider at 5,100. He could get 20 DraftKings points in that matchup. And then you got Josh Allen versus Minnesota. That's a suicide mission right there for him. I don't see him doing good. And that's it for quarterback. Now, talking about the Bills real quick. Vontae Davis. This man, if you ever step in Buffalo, you better cover your face. You better have security because the fans aren't going to put up with what you did. Leaving the game, was it before halftime? Halftime, dude just walked out on the team. He said, you know what? I'm going to retire. This old man, now he in his 30s, right? Early 30s. This man got burnt by Mike Williams on a touchdown. And right then and there, he decided, I'm going to retire. So before you was about to get benched, or afterwards, you know you was about to get sat down and spoke to, the man just said, I'm leaving. So no teammate, he didn't tell anybody. He just walked out. So nobody respects that out here. Bills Mafia, we not putting up with that bull. Like, get up out of here. Like, fuck out of here. Nobody's messing with Vontae Davis in Buffalo. If you come back, you're going to get spit on. You might get your ass beat. Don't come back to Buffalo. Bills Mafia revoked Vontae Davis's pass to come back to Buffalo. I'm telling you right now. And that's it. Like, no respect. Like, who leaves the game? Like, finish the game. That's all you had to do was finish the game, bow out. Nobody would said nothing. Another 30 minutes. That's it. Dude got roasted by Mike Williams. Fuck out of here. Crazy, right? So looking at the running back position, Kamara. Now, let's look and see what McCaffrey did to Atlanta, right? Played him last week. Let's see what happened here. All right, last game. Let's put it like this. Last game, McCaffrey had 15 targets, caught 14 of them for 102 yards, right? No touchdown. Didn't have one touchdown, right? 30.9 DraftKings points. In week 1, who went up against Atlanta? That was Philly. You had Ajayi with 2 touchdowns. Killed it, right? This week, Kamara. 9,500, you got to pay up. But if you can pay up, Kamara's definitely in play. They're missing Lewis, one of the linebackers. Atlanta. Come on now. Kamara's the play. This is a week you want to pay up. It's a scary fade if you don't pay up. 9,500, you're going to hope one of the running backs you got matches them or gets close. Last week, Kamara was a good fade because he ended up with 15 DraftKings points. But anytime you fade Kamara, you know that risk of him putting up that 30 or that 40. It's going to make it tough on you to stay level with the playing field or to get ahead. So Kamara's definitely in play here. Atlanta's missing some pieces on defense. And pass catching running backs crush Atlanta. As you saw in week 1, week 2 with McCaffrey, Kamara's a different animal. So if he gets the targets, he gets the touches, he going to put up a big game. I'm looking at Kamara here. Gurley left, didn't really play much in the second half versus Arizona. So they were killing him though. Didn't really need to. Versus the Chargers, it should be a nice little matchup for him. He should be able to do good, but I prefer Kamara in this game. Looking at Zeke, I'm off him. That offense just looks rusty. They gotta figure it out. They don't look good. Offensive line's a little banged up still, missing some key pieces. Looking at Barkley, definitely in play here. Versus Houston. Houston's defense is trash. When you got a fake punt going for like a 70-yard touchdown, fuck out of here. Like, Houston defense is a disgrace. Unbelievable. Barkley's definitely in play. Pass catching running back, killing it. Gordon, if he's a full go, he's in play here versus the Rams. I just don't like him. Good price on him, but I'll pay up for Barkley before I pay for Gordon this week. I was on him all last week and the week before. He did me good. I'm going to jump off while the train's still on the track. David Johnson, they're not using him right in Arizona. He's a pass catching back. They're not pushing him to the outside. They're not playing to his strengths. So I'm off of David Johnson. Looking at Cook, he left the game due to fatigue or something for a minute. Or he didn't get as many touches. That's a wait and see approach. He's in a hell of a spot versus Buffalo, but I'm just off of Cook for right now. I'm going to wait to the later in the week. Maybe I'll change my mind if I see good reports. But he's in play. I just don't like him here. Just because of last week, it was kind of funny what happened with him, and the price is up on him. So Fournette, we don't know what's going on. Got to check the Q tag all week. Josh Howard or Jordan Howard, he's in play. Just don't like him at this price. Running back, this slate right here, you're gonna win it with running back. Running back is very key to doing good this week, I believe. So if you do take Kamara, you're going to have to match him with somebody and hope whoever you match him with puts up a decent game. You got Coleman versus New Orleans. I like that. Thompson's in play versus Green Bay. Mixon's out, so we're gonna look at Gio Bernard here at 5,900. He's in play. Was hoping the price was down, but the news came out early on Mixon, so the price is up. Looking at Hunt, he's okay here at 6,000. Looking at Murray, he's the pivot if you want to get off a Cook. He could get a touchdown or two in a goal line. He could definitely vulture Dalvin Cook. Looking at Jahi, he's somebody to consider here versus Indianapolis. Good price on him if he's a full go, ready to roll. He's definitely a good play. Drake, I don't mind him. Breda, he only had 11 attempts and like 4 targets and 11 attempts and 2 targets. So at this price, he's someone to consider, but the volume's not there yet, or we just haven't seen it yet. So I don't know if I like him all that much, even though he put up a good score last week. He just got in the end zone, so it all depends if he gets in the end zone, because 11 attempts, 4 targets, 11 attempts, 2 targets, that's not something I'm looking for. I need volume in my running backs. Yeldon's in play here at 5,100. Lamar Miller's definitely in play at 5,000. Peterson's okay. Really don't like that. I prefer Thompson. Lynch, I'm off of him. 4,900 is kind of cheap though. He needs to find the box to pay off, I believe. Looking at Cohen, he's okay. I'm off Williams. Buck Allen, I'm off him. Lindsey versus Baltimore, 4,600. He's all right. Deion Lewis is cheap, 4,500 versus Jacksonville. They're going to be trailing. They're going to need him to pass catch. So depending on the quarterback and if I feel, you know what, he's definitely in play, but I don't know how much I like him or that offense in general. It's mainly the offense that I really don't like. Deion Lewis is pretty good. Depends who's quarterback. Let me see. Sproles, if he's out, you could also look at Clement, 4,300. Nice little value saver right there, especially if Ajayi's limping around. Grant could be somebody that's in play. You just got to hope they find the end zone. And that's as low as I'm going to go. Looking at wide receiver, obviously you're going to like everyone up top. You got Michael Thomas versus Atlanta. The volume's there. I like him. Ty Freak versus San Francisco. Can't stop this guy. He's putting up big numbers this year. 8,500. You got to pay for him, though. Hopkins definitely in play versus the Giants. OBJ versus Houston. Hopkins, OBJ. Should be fireworks. Definitely in play here. Julio Jones versus New Orleans. 7,900. I like that. So in this top range, I mean, you got great plays. Really like Julio at home, though. Looking at Thielen in play versus Buffalo. Diggs in play. It's just a matter of once they get the lead, are they going to keep throwing touchdowns? Are they going to keep pushing the pace if Buffalo's not putting up points? That's my only problem. I like both of these players right here. I think they both could have a good game like they did last week. Looking at Adams in play, 7,600. Green's in play. I mean, all these guys are in play. Is it like wide receiver's tough too. Wide receiver and running back's the toughest decisions to make this week because there's so many guys that are in play. It's just who's going to score the most. Cooper, I'm off him this week. Sanders is decent. Aguilar should see a lot of volume here. Aguilar and Wentz. Those are the two you want from Philly to pair him up with Wentz. Or Ertz, my fault. Aguilar and Ertz, pair him up with Wentz. Looking at Fuller, definitely in play at 59. Stills is all right. Don't mind him. Good matchup. Cole, good matchup here. Tennessee. That one-handed grab was crazy, right? Goodwin, Baldwin, we got to keep up on them, see how they're doing, see if they're going to make it back anytime soon. Fitz, same thing, Q-tag. Allen Robinson, I'm watching the Chicago game right now. It's in the third quarter. He looks pretty good. He's just not getting all the targets. He's not getting a high volume of targets. Lockett's okay at 5,300 here. Garcon, don't mind him. Looking at Sammy Watkins. Now, Mahomie done gave him some looks last week. Missed on a huge touchdown play. Overthrew him a little bit. He was wide open. 5,100, he's definitely in play. Woods, he's been coming close to having big game. They just haven't connected, him and Goff. He's in play. Don't like him, though. I'd much rather have Watkins and Woods. Crabtree's okay. That's a fade for me, though, versus Denver. But they got to throw the ball. And he's definitely a red zone target, so you got to consider him. Funchess versus Cincinnati, 5,000. Price is right. Cup, 4,900. Great price. Red zone target versus the Chargers. Don't love John Brown all that much, but he's in play. Looks to be one of the only receivers that I take a gamble on from Baltimore. I've been playing John Brown first 2 weeks. I won't play him this week though. Looking low on the totem pole. A couple of receivers you could look at is Mike Williams, Tyrell the Gazelle, DJ Moore. There's a report that they want to get him more involved. So, I mean, 3,800 versus Cincinnati. Not the best matchup. Ridley. Looks like Atlanta's getting him involved here. 3,700. Somebody to consider. And that's pretty much as low as I'm going to go. You look at Sutton. You can look at Ross. That's pretty much it. Tight end position. Real quick. Obviously, Ertz is in play with Wentz back. Kelsey's in play. You saw the bounce back game. Kelsey could put up a big score. I think he put up over 30 on DraftKings. Crazy. All the weapons that Mahomes got. Kelsey's one of his top weapons. So you got to consider Kelsey. You got to consider Ertz. Reed's in play versus Green Bay. Jimmy Graham, he's a red zone guy. I don't see him getting a lot of targets, but he could catch 2 touchdowns and end with like 20. Kittle, he was chalked that busted last week. You could go right back to him at 4,500. He should come in lower owned. Evan Ingram, too many weapons over there. I'm off him, but he's a good play. At 4,300, I mean, it's just who's going to find the box here. You got Rudolph, Cook. I go right back to Cook versus Miami. Definitely tight ends versus Miami. It's like they didn't even target him in the second half. Like Derek Carr, what was he doing? Like get Jared Cook the ball. Like I had him in a lot of lineups. Ended with like 8-9 points, but Trey Burton, he got a touchdown tonight in the Chicago versus Seattle game. A little shuffle pass, forward pass. He's in play at 3,900. Ebron, 2 touchdowns, week 1, week 2. Don't love him though. Jack Doyle, same thing. One of these guys might find the box, but I'm off it. You got Disley versus Dallas. Eifert, 3,200 versus Carolina. I can see that working out. And that's pretty much it. Now for defense, short and sweet. Defenses I'm looking at are the Vikings, the Jaguars, the Bears, the Rams. Now if you want to pay down, I don't love any of these defenses if you're paying down. Really don't. Nope. Looks like I'm paying up for defense this week. It's the Vikings, most definitely. Jaguars, Bears, Rams, in that order. First 4 defenses, that's what I'm looking at. So I'm paying up this week. No ifs, no ands about it. I'll have to sacrifice in a different position. Wide receiver, there's no Callaway this week. There's no 3K play of the week, and all the prices went up on these players. So it's going to make it real tough to build lineups for people. People are going to have to make decisions on running back and wide receiver. That's where you're going to win the week. Wide receiver and running back position. You got some tough decisions to make, and that's going to decide who wins, who loses this week in DraftKings. I expect the cash line to be low. It's kind of low this week, like 130 to 140. A lot of my lineups were over 160, so I really lucked out. And if you follow my player pool, look for the players that are in bold. Now I have green as my favorite players. So if you see players that are in green that are bold, those are some of my favorite plays on the slate. So I wish everybody luck this week. Hit me up on DraftKings at I Would Hate Me Too, IWOULDHAMETOO. Hit me up, add me to your league, send me a head-to-head, whatever, doesn't matter. Friendly competition, whatever you want to do, I don't mind. My league is Dfs Wolfpack on DraftKings. If you want to join the league, just hit me up. So I'll add you to the league. This is my website, dfswolfpack.com. Now, I added the NFL Week 3 player pool. So this is my recap from last week. My best lineup was 212. It was a Cousins, Diggs. That's where I started. Went Gordon, Connor, McCaffrey. Just because Atlanta, they give up a lot of points to pass catching running backs. That's why I'm high on Kamara this week. Cook kind of let me down. Didn't get any targets in the second half. Higgins, I left him in the lineup by accident. I meant to put in Callaway, but I didn't have enough time. Lineup locked. He ended up with 9.7. Callaway was like 17, 18. Juju crushed it. And I wanted a piece of that Pittsburgh, so I had Connor and Juju. Um, and I actually faded in this lineup. I faded Mahomes. All my other lineups were Mahomes, Roethlisberger, Cousins, and Matt Ryan. Those are the quarterbacks I had exposure to. If you look, go down here to last week, put up the 222. I had Rivers, I had Watson, I had Mahomes, Ryan. These were the guys that I was high on going into the week. Watson I came off of though because Will Fuller was ruled out, so I didn't like him as much. I didn't update the article though. And then what I do is I update this article, I'll update this blog post throughout the week. So say Thursday hits, I find out some information, I might put Cousins in bold. He might be somebody that jumped off my radar and something might have came up and I'm like, yeah, I got to play him. Maybe some injuries on the defense that he's playing. And then I think it's like a good cornerback wide receiver matchup or a good wide receiver cornerback matchup. I'll throw Cousins. I'll move him up my ranks. And this is all by prices. If you look from top to bottom, it's prices. So it's not who do I like more. It's based on price from top to bottom. So that's it. Good luck this week. Hit me up. I've been doing good for the first 2 weeks. NFL, NBA, my two best sports, most profitable sports when it comes to daily fantasy. So hit me up, Dfs Wolfpack, Instagram, Twitter, and let's chop it up and let's make some money. One.